Hi and welcome to Crafty Little Things. Today I thought I'd do just a make it up as I go along video because I want to do a series of unusual fold cards. I knew that much and I've kind of planned out in my mind what I wanted to do, but I do like to do these make it up as you go along videos because I think it helps people who are new to crafting who don't consider themselves very good or who are learning to see how, or who have just lost their mojo really, just to see how the process works. Now the other day I uploaded a video and a blog post with a really brightly coloured bunting in a gift box, and that project left me with lots of scraps in the colours that I used, and they're just gorgeous colours, and I mean all Stampin' Up colours are gorgeous, but I just love this combo, and bits of DSP, and you know, just left me with bits and bobs. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and make an unusual fold card using up these bits and bobs. So a kind of card along the lines of the bunting that I made, so it would kind of be quite similar, although that used jars. It was a recipe thing. It's not going to use jars, and it's not going to be a recipe thing. It's going to be, I don't know what it's going to be yet, and probably a birthday card, I don't know. So I'm going to use these colours and I'm going to make a diamond fold card as my first sort of unusual fold card. Anyone who knows me knows I am not a card maker at all. I got into paper crafting through making 3D projects, and that was only boxes and bags for things that that I make in the Crafty Little Things store, which are like candles and crochet items and things like that. So card making to me came about when I got into the Stampin' Up community, when I became a demonstrator. Even though I don't have a sales focus, I do love sharing the products, and I do use the products in my business. They're fantastic products, and it just makes coordination so easy. And if you're like me and you're not very good at that, then you know it is a great thing to get into. But then you get into this community of card makers, basically. That, you know, they do make 3D projects and other projects as well, but there's some just amazing card makers, and you can't help but get involved and have a little go yourself. And so I'm a real novice card maker, and to be honest with you, I never used to send cards at all to anyone for anything. I sort of started, I stopped sending Christmas cards in about 2009, something like that, when I just thought I'd just spend an awful lot of money, I'd rather give it to charity. And then I stopped sending birthday cards because I just thought to myself, if you really want to wish someone a happy birthday, go and wish them a happy birthday. Do you know what I mean? Or ring them, and I just stopped sending cards altogether. But since I've been involved in the card making world, I love receiving cards again, and I love sending them again. So I've just really found it's just that personal touch, isn't it? And I know when my nephew passed away recently, the cards were just so comforting, and it just allowed, it's the closest we get to a letter, a handwritten letter nowadays. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling, but that's what's behind my sort of card making. So I'm a novice card maker. I'm not very good at this by any means. So I'm learning as I go along as well. Okay, so for this, so I'm going to make this up as I go along. All I know is I'm going to use some of these colours for the panels, and I'm going to use some of the paper scraps that I'm left with, and use the stack that I was using, which was, well, I used two stacks. I was using the Tutti Fruitti, and I was also using the Picture Perfect Party stack. So I think I'm going to just carry on. I'm going to use the Tutti Fruitti stack, and I'm just going to make this card up as I go along. So I do notice here that I do have a piece of is it old olive or it's a garden? Anyway, I have a piece of, oh, it's wild wasabi. I have a piece of wild wasabi here, which is big enough to make my base. So that's my starting point, because I need a 12 by 4 piece to start with. So let's get that cut down to begin with. So 12 by 4, so that is 12, and I was just checking, I thought it was by 4. My hands are so dry. I've got some hand cream on here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. Yeah, so we just need to score this at 2 and 4 and 8 and 10. Okay, we don't need to score it at all on the short side. And then what we need to do is that those folds are valley folds, so they'll fold downwards like so. And then what we need to do is we need to mark at 6 here and at 6 here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do lines from here to here and here to here on both sides, okay? Now you can, if you've got a diagonal, whatever it is, scoreboard, you can do that. I've got one on my other one, not on this one. You can use a ruler, or I'm going to use my trimmer, which is quite a mess at the minute. One of the team that I'm in, Happy Crafters, one of them was asking how we clean our cutting boards and things, our scoreboards and things, and I just, every now and again, I just get everything together, take the blade out, and I just wash everything, scrub everything with, I put some warm water and washing liquid in a bowl, and I just wash everything down, scrub everything down. Right, so I'm going to put this score line, and I'm going to line it up with this one here, this little mark here, into my scorer, and I'm going to use my scoring and not my cutter. Just give it a couple of passes, and then I'm going to do the same and line those up. You might find it's more accurate, and then I'm going to take that last one and this one and line those up on the other side. You might find that you're more accurate using a ruler. I'm not. I'm not the most accurate of people when it comes to cutting and marking. And that's all you need to do. So you've got that, I don't know if you can see that, you've got that diamond shape in the middle, okay, and that's going to be the piece of your card that sort of pops forward. So at this point you could, if you wanted to, this is where you could put your panels on, but I'm just going to score this first. So this end one, not score it, burnish it and fold it, wants to be going up. This one wants to be going forward as well, because these are what we call valley folds, so they're folding, so they're going to be down. If you look from the side, they'd be like a V shape from the end, I mean, so like that, they're valley folds, okay? And then these folds are going to be what are called mountain folds, so they're going to fold backwards like this, okay? So just fold it backwards like that and score it. And do the same with the other one. And just make sure that you've done all of your folds. I'm still, do you know, had a flu jab and it's given me, it's made me unwell. Well, people say they can't make you unwell, but I was fine until I had it. And then how the card will fold, it will go like so. Okay, so when you put it in an envelope, that's how it'll be, and then it'll pop out and open out and it'll stand up like that. Okay, now so the panels, obviously these panels are 2 by 4 inches, and this panel here is 2 3/8 by 2 3/8, I believe. Let me just check that. Oh, 2 7/8. 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, sorry. So we're going to put some colour on now. So I'm going to use, I think I might put this on the 2 ends. So we'd need 2 panels which measure, I'm going to do them 3 7/8 by 1 7/8. I've got some new blades, I need to put them on. So they'll fit perfectly on there. And then the centre panel, as I said, is 2 7/8 square. So I'm just going to cut 2 7/8. Sorry, I want to cut it a bit smaller, so I'm going to do 2 3/4. So that's 2 3/4 by 2 sometimes when you've got these little bits to cut off, your cutter doesn't want to do it. Right. And they'll go like so. Now if you do a 2 3/4 square by 2 3/4 square, they'll fit in these panels as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that in this purple colour, which is Wisteria Wonder. So I'm going to do a 2 3/4, a couple of 2 3/4 squares. I'm not really thinking about the colours and the designs I'm going to use, because I didn't when I did the bunting, and it just came out so lovely, and they've been such a popular project. So once you've got the 2 3/4 squares, you can just line them up corner to corner. Start in the middle. So you get your 2 3/4 square, and you put that down. I do find when I'm doing a rough edge like this, and then if you cut that again in half, so if you get the point into there, you'll find that those pieces fit perfectly into these pieces, and these pieces fit perfectly into those. Okay, so you don't need to remember many measurements at all. So I'm going to do, I think I'll do a Wisteria Wonder one, and then I'm going to do one in the Calypso Coral. So it's 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, so there we've got some panels, and then we're going to put some, we're going to use some DSP and make panels. So we'll go for 2.5. So they're only going to be small little panels. Great for using up stash, scrap stash. And then for the end panels then, we've got these pieces that are, what were they? Yeah, so if we have 1 1/4 by 3 and 1 3/4 by 3 3/4 of the DSP, so one and a quarter by 3 3/4. Just do both sides the same, to be honest. 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay. So there we've got some panels. We can sort of start sticking those on now. So they don't even have to go exactly as we planned. So I'm just going to pop on I don't think it needs a lot. I think I'm going to put a sentiment on here. Go for quite a big sentiment, I think. I don't really think it needs anything else. I think it's such a riot as it is. I'm going to use ribbon to tie it together. So I think I'm going to go for, just because I happen to have it by me, I'm going to go for something out of Better Together. I think I'm going to go for Happy Birthday. It is one of my favourites, this Happy Birthday stamp. No, shall I go with the red? I think I'm going to pick out the red. So I'm just going to go with the real red. I don't think it really needs anything else. Like I said, there's a lot of fuss going on, isn't there? Yeah. So I'm just going to get some dimensionals. I've got so many that are already in use. I'm just going to pop some on the back. Does everybody else end up with about 6 packs of dimensional, all half used? Because I sort of lose them, grab a new strip and then find the old one, put them in with in my box of tricks, which is where I keep all my stuff. And then that's the happy birthday, and then I think we'll just make, should we make a belly band? I'm going to make it quite deep as well. Nine, and I'd probably make it 1.5 deep. Oops, whacked my tape. That across the front. I'm not just going to leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little scrap I've got here. I'm going to cut it down a little bit. I'm just going to stick that to the front of it. So we've got 1.5 by 1.5 little square. Just stick that to there, and then I'm going to put a little bow on the front of that. So I'm just going to pop that on with dimensionals. Pop those on the sides. And then I'm just going to grab a little lemon lime twist bow. And stick that on. In the middle. So these little bows come pre-made. And you could, if you wanted to, you could put your sentiment on your belly band. But or maybe don't even let it dry a second. Wrap it around the card. And so tomorrow I'm going to be doing a different fold. I don't know what fold I'm going to be doing. I think I might just go for a really easy kind of cut diagonal but make quite an elaborate card tomorrow. And this has been quite a fun young card. I'd love to receive this card myself. I think it's really pretty.